What's up, guys? So it's Saturday. We've got, our threes today: squat, bench, deadlift, single on squats, single on bench, and some like fours on deads or something. We did 750 on deads, and it moved pretty good for the most part. I'm pretty happy with it. After today, we'll be around 6 weeks out from nationals, so I'm happy about that. Something I haven't really discussed too much because I actually didn't know if I was going to be doing it or not. For you guys who don't know, the USAPL and the IPF aren't together anymore. So before, USAPL would have it where if you went to nationals, you won nationals, you qualify for IPF, which meant you would go to IPF, you compete against Germany, France, blah, 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 other countries like that. It's like the Olympics of powerlifting, right? So last year, USAPL, the United States, got banned for over-drug testing, right? And a lot of American lifters were upset because we're like, okay, why are we getting banned, right? Because we're overly drug testing when, let's say, China, for example, is only drug testing 2 of their athletes. Not just 2, like I'm just making that number up, but I'm just putting all this stuff in theory. So anyways, the USAPL was like, all right, yeah, we shouldn't be banned. Let's leave this federation and be our own. So USAPL is not with the IPF anymore. They're its own entity, basically. And now we're having it where the USAPL has way more money put into it compared to when it was with the IPF. We're getting pro events now, just like how in bodybuilding there's IFBB pro cards, right? There's going to be pro cards for powerlifting. So there's the pro series, which is really, really interesting because the last pro series meet or whatever, the winner won $10,000, which was Ashton Rueska, who was just a beast, right? But this is the thing: we got nationals, junior nats at least, in 6 weeks. We're going to be competing not in the 105 kg class because they took that out. When the USAPL left the IPF, they decided, hey, we're not going to do the 105 kg classes. They brought back older USAPL classes, which is the 100 kg class and the 110. For you guys who aren't familiar with kgs, 100 is 220 and 110 is like 242. And me being roughly in the middle, but a little closer to the 100 class, I was like, okay, I'm in better luck with the 100 kg class than the 110 because since it's the 110, you have guys that are about 242 or around 250 in water cutting, and I'm just not that heavy yet. I maybe could have done that if I didn't go to the Florida and lose 10 pounds, because I was about 231 before I left, and then I came back as like 226, and now I'm staying at around 225, trying to stay relatively good feeling and not having to overly just stuff my face with food. And I'm just more concerned about, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a water cut, if that, and make the 100 kg class, be 220 pounds, and see what we can do at junior nats. The only difference is that since I am in the 100 kg class, right, and I am around 6'1", 6'2"-ish, I'm competing against guys that are a lot shorter. Shorter means shorter range of motion, shorter leverages, which equals to be heavier weight, and 220 being a shorter weight class. They can, shorter height, they can be in a, filled out more than me being a taller and at a quote-unquote lighter weight class. So I have no idea what I'm going to be going into because I've never competed with the guys in the 220 class. Usually it's going to be the guys that are in the 90 kg class that we're cutting that are going up to the 100 kg class, or it's 91, 92 kg, I'm not sure. But I'm going against guys that I don't know. Most of the people that I have competed against or familiar with are going into the 110 kg. And I would love to be able to get up to that weight class, but it would just be at so much disadvantage to say, oh yeah, I'm going to just compete against the 110 while I'm 30 pounds down and just not in my element, when it just wouldn't be smart at all. And I'm trying to play this game as smart as possible, because I want to win. So we're playing we're trying to play chess, not checkers, right? But I just want to fill you in on all that stuff. And it was quite funny because I wasn't even familiar that I was going to be doing nationals because, like I said, the IPF USAPL left the IPF, and what happened was there's now two powerlifting federations in the United States. There's the USAPL, which I compete in, and now there's Powerlifting America. In Powerlifting America, that's the class you can compete against to go to IPF, right? But there's no pro cards, and not really too many people are like, it's cool, but USAPLs, I feel like where the top dogs are, right? I could go to USPA, and USPA would be fun because their meets are a lot closer, but it's not as it doesn't have as much money put into it compared to USAPL. Not that many people that are competitive that are in USPA compared to USAPL. Like if I went in USPA, I've already looked at their records. It's not that out of the ordinary where like I would go there, I would win, and I'd probably be top dog. And that's great and all if I had to build up my confidence, right? And not saying I won't ever do a USPA meet, but right now I want to compete against people that are just hungry, right? And since I'm in an area where I don't compete against anybody, like there's nobody in my gym that like is remotely close to where I'm supposed to be, I need to have some kind of elemental figure on social media that I can like see as competition to still keep me motivated and hungry. Does that make sense? Because I'm not like a lot of people that are in powerlifting gyms, they're in an area where everybody's striving to get stronger. Well, I'm the strongest in my gym. So I have to compete against these people to get like just the satisfaction of wanting to be better. But yeah, we're doing USAPL, 6 weeks out, Junior Nats. It's in Illinois. I'm excited. I wasn't aware I was going to do it, like I said like 50 million times, but I'm going to get to the story of why I wasn't even able, like I wasn't even sure. Like Sean, my coach, Hamstring Pappy, he hits me up and he goes, it's like 11 p.m. or 12, close to 12 a.m. And he's like, hey, why aren't you doing Junior Nats? I was like, I don't know. He's like, basically like, we're going to be doing Junior Nats. You're like, what's your weight? And I gave him my weight. And he's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? And I was like, I don't know. So I was like, all right. He's like, do you want to? I'm like, I'm down. So I'm doing it now. And we're 6 weeks out. I just really, I wasn't aware with where the competition was going, you know, and I want to go with where the competition's going. Not saying that's good for like everything else in the specs of like trying to follow what everybody else is doing, but in terms of just competition, it's great to be surrounded by the best individuals or people that are way better than you, because that's what's going to get you better, right? So that's what my entire mindset was. And then when I found out, okay, the move is USAPL, well, now we're going to USAPL Junior Nats. So I'm excited, nervous a little bit, but not too much, because I have no idea who's going to be there. So there's absolutely, I can't be nervous if I don't know what's going to be there, you know? It was like with that WWE thing, I had nothing to be like I had no expectations, nothing, so I couldn't really get nervous.
Oh, how fun.
It's not a photo.
Oh, wait, what?
It's a video.
We're like cheesing, we're like cheese.
Throw in the extra smalls today. We'll see what we hit. I typically don't use these until around when we have to hit an RP 8, but I did do it last week just because I just felt like my positioning could have been off if I had this tight, but I've been loosened up for the most part. So we're gonna see if these affect my first like 2 sets of warm-ups, then I'll change them out, but I'm gonna see, you know, because you have to be a little more technical when you have these extra smalls. way too bright. 400 ISO, we'll be fine. We got a package from Stoic because actually they're releasing 2 new colorways, but I only can talk about one. Oh, they didn't make it rubber anymore. I am glad that they changed the wrist wraps from rubber to more of a cloth material because even though the rubber was super cool, it wasn't practical. So kudos to them for doing that. Alright, so right now I'm going to go help my grandpa move somebody out of an apartment, but let's look at this snowstorm we're at. It's a weather warning, but guess what? FedEx man came in clutch, and Dave's pre-workout came to me. So we're gonna try that maybe today. It looks like way better on camera, but it's like hella, oh crap. All right, we gotta go a little fast down these roads. Guys, I'm pretty sure my muffler's broken. There's been so much snow, and I cracked it, but it wasn't fully broken, but now I think it's fully broken. If you can listen, watch. I don't know if you can hear that. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh my god, it sounds like a friggin' truck.